Thanks for listening to the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast, where each week we talk about a free piece or two of technology that you can use in your classroom. I'm your host, Shanna Martin. I'm a middle school teacher, technology coach, and personalized learning coordinator for my district.
And I'm her husband / rainy day producer, Fuzz Martin. Hello.
Hello.
What's happening?
It's episode 90.
90?
That's kind of crazy.
That is crazy. We've put in so much time giving free tech tools to teachers. I hope you're all enjoying.
Yay. So, this week, so many things. It's like busy, crazy week at school. Shout out to all the teachers. It is Teacher Appreciation Week.
Yes. Happy
You are appreciated.
Teacher Appreciation Week. I appreciate you and all of you listening. Hearts.
And sunshine. Even though we're going to talk about rain. We're not really going to talk about rain, but
we're going to talk about science
and rainy day fun. So it's Teacher Appreciation Week. There's lots of things.
I can't stand the rain.
First week of May, if you're listening to this in order. It's that time of year.
It is.
Time's a ticking.
We're almost to the summertime.
Yeah.
You've almost made it through a really weird, probably the most weird year you will ever have as an educator.
Pretty much.
Was this the year before may have been more weird.
Yes, because it was bizarre, like cut off.
Yeah, but also this year is
like
also
the most
weird.
Flexible, adaptable.
Yes.
Try everything once.
Next year will also be weird. So like last year was weird. This year was also weird. Next year will be kind of weird.
It'll continue to be weird, I think, because like, do you go back to normal or do you change how you? To me, so many teachers have adapted and done so many cool things. Like, some of that stuff is cool.
Yeah, but what's more? We're like, hey, you're going home and then teaching at home for
that's odd.
3 months, or like for some of you, and everybody's experience is different.
Mm-hmm.
But you're teaching in person during a pandemic,
right?
Or
you write a book about
the following part of that is of like we're post-ish pandemic, and we're in person. And we're trying to still keep everybody healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And just,
it is what it is.
So
who knows?
You've all been doing great. I'm very proud of all of you. Congratulations, no matter what the setup has been for you.
Yes, rock on, teacher friends.
Rock on.
So, today we are discussing some rainy day science fun.
What?
So, I was working with the science teachers this week and gathering materials for them. And we still have we have very few students, but we still have a few students that are full virtual. And like, I think we've talked before, like I'm face to face, but there's certain things that like in science class, you want to do hands-on labs, but you can't always do it and material wise and all kinds of stuff. So I was digging around finding like a variety of ways. So that way kids had a lot of choice in their science classes and doing different things, whether they're virtual on Chromebooks or if they're going to build them in their classroom or do both, where they're physically making a model and then also doing a virtual version and kind of doing a comparison. So I found two very, very cool sites for two different teachers for different subjects. But the first one I'm going to talk about, it's called the Biology Center. And if you are a science teacher, this site is so cool. I would definitely recommend it for probably older, I would say like 5th grade on up, maybe some 4th grade, depending on your content that you're teaching. But the Biology Corner, it's biologycorner.com. So it's pretty, it's an easy one to remember. There is so much to offer. So it covers from anatomy to cell biology to evolution to genetics, ecology, and science methods. And it has all of these cool resources for each topic. So if I want to look at cell biology, and I know that, we cover cell biology in elementary school, through middle school, through high school, and it builds on itself. And within that, they have they have a variety of resources for a teacher. So you can go through and label things. There can be like printouts for your classrooms. They have a photosynthesis like label parts and labels thing where you can print it. But what's also cool is that they also have Google Doc versions and Google Slides versions that are already created. So you're not like moving things around and recreating them and having to go find them other places, and then creating your own. They also have what I thought was cool is this photosynthesis lab where it actually talks about and teaches photosynthesis, and it's an interactive lab. So if you go to photosynthesis virtual lab and then click on the little like blue virtual photosynthesis lab, it will load in. It connects you to another site. And it's from a different lab company that has created this lab, which is cool. It's virtual. It's the importance of light in photosynthesis. And they have a little like pretend beaker, and they have the light shining and a little timer, and you can click and adjust and make things how you would adjust them like in an actual science environment, which is kind of cool. They also have videos that teach you about it and a variety of animations and things like that and other resources, which is really kind of sweet. And it's all just with one click of a button that is something connected through the biology center.
Sure.
So like, this is not just a one site kind of deal, but it connects you to other science sites for resources. And it is amazing the amount of resources here. I was just playing around talking to our science teacher. She does a whole like choice kind of project based thing at the end of the school year where they have a bingo card and then they get to pick from different topics they cover and then report out and share with the class the different investigations they do with inquiry. And like there's a whole section here you can pull up on evolution, and you can look at like squirrels or different type of dog tails, and if you click on that you can look at the different information from there. Like there's just so many cool ways for students to explore in the site. And then you can see if you click on it where it gives you a little background of the lesson, and then it gives you like a PDF version or a Google Doc version. Some of them have Google Slides pre-done, some of them have interactive like virtual labs that you can do. Like they have so many options for topics and ways you can teach and resources, which is really cool. You don't have to create things or hunt down. It's just a great place to find stuff. They even have a Teddygram lab that goes along with genetics, which is pretty sweet. And they give you like the whole setup of how you can use Teddygrams in your science class. And then they have science methods, so it teaches background. There's just so many resources, and it's really cool. You can find things that you're looking for to teach. You can send students on an investigation. You could be like, hey, we're going to cover like evolution.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose like 6 of them, and then they could pick one from there.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of options and flexibility, and the site just has so much free and resources that have been created that you as a teacher can use in your classroom. It's pretty cool. And they have, I'm in the ear, and you can pull up the interactive lab about learning about ears and the interactive ear. And I'll screenshot this and put this one on the site because it's pretty cool, where you build the ear using the different pieces of the ear, which is awesome. So yeah, that one's Biology Center. So
Biology Center. It reminds me of a site that I've used for writing articles before, for different invasive species type things, called bugwood.org. And there you can find images of all sorts of, like if you're looking for an image of emerald ash borer or some sort of different invasive species or a type of plant or anything like that. It's called bugwood.org. You can go and students
So that's more of like an image site?
It's more of an image site.
Okay.
But it's from the Center for Invasive Species and Ecosystem Health for the University of Georgia.
Cool. A little tidbit in there. A little extra info.
But it reminded me a lot of that when I was checking out that site.
Cool. Very fun. So yeah.
The Biology Corner.
Biology Corner. Check it out. Even if you're not a science teacher, just for like cool explorations. I was thinking like summertime, like if you're heading outside and doing fun things, even with your family or with summer school.
Yeah.
You're always looking for like fun summer school stuff to kind of mix it up a little bit. Like there's a ton of resources on the Biology Corner. So check that one out. Yay.
Yay.
And the second side I want to talk about today, I was helping out one of our ag teachers, and I was in there with the students, and it's crop growth and development, crop research is what they are doing in that class. And they like study different types of crops, and obviously like fertilizer, what makes them grow and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, hey, do they have a virtual thing where they like grow plants? And we kept saying like Farmville. I'm like, no, there's got to be like some real site out there that students can learn from that's digital. Like if you're not in a farming community and you want to learn about farming, like there's got to be things out there. So their questions got me digging because I wanted to find educational farming sites. So I found one. Through National Geographic, so nationalgeographic.org, you go /interactive/top crop. So it's top-crop.
Yep.
And it's so fun. It is an interactive farming site. So if you want to, and I was thinking like in the springtime, sometimes back in the day, we would plant like grass in little solo cups or flowers for Mother's Day in little solo cups, and you bring them home. You grow in your classroom window.
Yep.
And I brought her crop investigating students half potatoes and solo cups and soil so they could grow potatoes in their classroom. And the site, Top Crop. So what it does, it's created through National Geographic under like education. And it's got this little setup, like the Department of Agriculture wants to experiment with new technologies and methods for sustainable farming, and they've asked you to take charge. That's kind of like the premise of this. And I love that it's sustainable farming because that's such a key thing in learning about growing crops. It's got to be sustainable. And so the goal of the game is to grow as many crops as possible over 10 rounds. And you have to keep track of the score about like how much you yield when you're growing crops. And their focus is sustainability. So tools, they talk about like pesticides and irrigation and how you keep things healthy and not have negative long-term effects to the farm and surrounding area, which to me is such a big piece of this that sometimes gets missed in some of these games. And you literally, like round one, you're going to plant your corn and you have a little field and you like plant your corn. But then it also gives you can earn points for sustainability. So if you are growing appropriately, or if there's problems on the farm that come up, like if there's different types of insects, or if there is fertilizer, or if you're over fertilizing, or if there's runoff, or if you're using technology properly to like support your crops. And so it's just a really cool way to like virtually grow crops and then learn about farm sustainability and also play a game at the same time. And it's set for, like they say, 6th through 12th grade because there is a lot of reading with it because you're also learning about crop growth and sustainability while playing Top Crop. Are you playing right now?
I am. I'm trying to figure out how to
plant the corn.
Yeah, plant the corn. It's
so my total yield right now as we're playing and talking, I'm at 660 with my base reward of 2 points, my expansion bonus of 1, and my sustainability of 5 points.
I'm at 1240.
And I get 8 tech points in round 1. So I'm in round 2. So really, it's fun and it's kind of cool. Like it's a way to learn about farming if you're not around farms. And if you are, kind of just being like a little more aware of things, and it's fun to play and learning about a variety of things too. So it would be a great way to kind of start an inquiry or end an inquiry, or in between if you're growing things as a class. It would be kind of fun to learn about. So if you get a chance, nationalgeographic.org/interactive/top crop. And I give you a little hint. You're going to have your little tools on the upper left-hand side, like if you have bugs or if you have fertilizer, But if you look lower left side, that's where you find your crops to start planting. I had to dig around to find that.
Negative 16 sustainability right now, so I'm not doing so well with my...
You got to work on your corn.
I do.
You do?
I do.
I'm at 13 sustainability and 11 tech points. Woohoo!
What? Oh, negative 16.
It's okay. We'll play competitively later, and then we'll report out to everybody how we did. That's amazing.
Right.
But yes, so little rainy day fun with science this week. If you're able to work with your students, or if you want to encourage some inquiry, or if you are looking for some cool science stuff at the end of the year to kind of keep things moving along, check these 2 sites out because they're kind of fun to play, and there's a lot of fun things to do with them.
Agreed.
So yeah, just like we got our little garden planted out today, we're going to plant a virtual one and see whose crops
are growing
the best. So there's that.
Showed up.
Well, thanks for tuning in. This has been the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast. If you ever have any questions, you can find me on Twitter at SmartNWI. And if you want to get more information on the links to the technology discussed in this episode, you can visit smartnwi.com, especially the EdTech Directory. New episodes each week. Thanks for listening. Go educate and innovate.
The ideas and opinions expressed on this podcast and the Smart and WI website are those of the author, Shanna Martin, and not of her employer. Prior to using any of the technologies discussed on this podcast, please consult with your employer regulations. This podcast offers no guarantee that these tools will work for you as described, but we sure hope they do, and we'll talk to you next time on the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast.